Welcome back to another EDD-Toolbar update. Today I want to show you some of the QC tools that I've put into EDD-Toolbar so you could check productions when you receive them or send them or just working with your data. Let's go to my screen and I'll show you what I got. Alright, so we're in Excel and I'm going to go to Import Toolbar and I'm going to load a DAT file just so we have something to work with. So I'm going to pick a DAT file. And now I'm going to go to EDD-QC/export toolbar. I know the name has been changing lately. This is the most recent name I've given it based on the tools that are included. So what we're looking at today is this QC section. And the first really cool tool I'm really proud of, which is brand new to this toolbar, I never had this before, is Find Empty Columns. And by the name, you can guess what it does. All right, so let's create some empty columns. Let's take the deleted one, and we have yes here, so we have a completely blank column. And let's run the tool. And as you guessed, what it should do is find whichever column is blank. So I'm going to click on that, and bam! Now we get this highlight in gray telling us that this column has no data. Now another thing you'll notice is this red outline. And what the red outline does is it tells us which columns and rows was scanned for blanks. The data we're dealing with sometimes could be all kinds of shapes going to the side, to the bottom. I wanted to have some kind of indication, at least for myself, to know where we're looking. So that's what this red outline does. So we have identified that we do have a blank column. The next thing we can do is delete, right? So we have this checkbox, so we can check that off and the columns will be deleted. So let's just make some more blank columns just for the fun of it. Custodian. All right, so I have a few more of these. And so now when we click on that, you'll see how pretty obvious, right? Those columns get deleted and things get collapsed. So why is that cool? And on occasion you get these DAT files that were exported from a template and they contain a million fields, but sometimes only a few of them are actually populated. And so you don't want to sit there and map each one of those fields not knowing whether it has data or doesn't have data. You know, if you know there is no data in a DAT file in that column, you might as well not even map it. But sometimes you don't know these things. So what you're able to do is load it into Excel, remove blank columns, and then go here, select the area, and export this to a brand new DAT file without any of those extra columns. So this will save you tons and tons of time when you're trying to map fields when loading outside production. So that's what the Find Empty Columns and Delete Empty Columns does. Now, I do have a couple more tools in the QC section, so let's take a look at those. I'm going to make a new tab, and let's make a quick dir list here. Click Select, and go back here. So this tool path file found, this is something that existed in the previous toolbar. What I'm going to do is just highlight file found, and now we're going to get a field. Actually, what I should have done is just add some characters here so we have some false here. So there you go. So now whenever file is found, you get true, and whenever it's not, you get false. So this is again for outside productions. Maybe you have a vendor who is known to always give you bad productions and their files are missing and there are problems. You can load a DAT file, check the native paths, make sure they're okay. You can load OPT file, make sure that everything points to images. It's really frustrating when you load outside production, it errors out and you have a partial load and you're waiting for more data or for more natives, right? If you know there are problems, you may not want to load it at all. You just want to like report on problems and say, okay, just give me, fix it. And then I'm going to load it when I know it's good. So this way you can check to make sure data is good before you load. And same way you can do it if you are producing to somebody, you can check to make sure your tech team did a good job at creating all the paths and such. Now, another thing I did here is convert path to hyperlink. So the way it works, you just click on this and it turns this into a link. And now if you click on it, it's going to open a native file for you. Not totally sure why I did it, because there is a hyperlink formula, which you can do this. Again, not a big deal. It's going to work the same way, but you know, if you want to have a button, that makes it much easier. You don't have to type it out. Also, this creates kind of different link. If you right click, you see how you have no properties to this. You can just open it. But if you use the one I created, you can like define names, edit hyperlinks. You get all kinds of interesting stuff that come up here. Yeah, kind of one of those things, you know, if you can automate something with one button, you know, maybe it's easy. If not, just use a formula, whatever you're into. Again, idea here is so that you can click on things and you can QC. You can point us to TIFFs or to your native files or to whichever. Not many people are probably going to review from here, but again, if you need to, you got it. So those are the QC tools. Find and delete empty columns so you could shrink your DAT file to something more manageable. Check if you have good paths, and make path clickable so you could actually look at your native files or TIFFs if that's what you need to do. So that's my update on EDD Toolbar. Thank you for joining me on this update, and I will see you on another.